So we will understand like what is this funda behind multi-org. Okay. Well, to understand this multi-org funda, we must know what is an account, what is a contact, what is an organization, what is an opportunity, what is an asset, what is a contract, what is an order in Siebel. Well, in particular, we need to know the like entities like account and contact and organization. So is everybody clear about those three concepts? So this is a question. Just think about it and give the answers. Okay. One of the important factors that you have to keep in mind is when Siebel is having various entities. That was the reason why do we have so many entities like positions, users, employees, and party, etc. for a simple business world thing. Reason is simple. In Siebel, we will create an entity for a specific reason. A reason which will make Siebel function, which will make Siebel provide that functionality to the company that has purchased Siebel. For example, companies have buildings, and we all know companies have. A company cannot survive without a building. They all need a building to work in. But Siebel does not have this entity because Siebel functionality is not dependent upon buildings. Companies have VPs and all that. Companies have many things which Siebel does not, in which Siebel functionality, the functionality that Siebel wants to provide to the clients, the companies, that does not get affected or get improvised or get reduced or get weakened in any way. So Siebel does not care about those entities. When you are creating an entity, you should think Siebel, how will it make Siebel work? Whether it will add some value to the way Siebel functions. That is the main fundamental inspiration behind providing some entity in Siebel. For example, we have so many entities: position, user, employee, and everybody. Like today morning, he was asking, why do we have this position entity? What is position? Then what does it look like? Does it have a last name, first name, or does it not have, right? Then somebody was asking, what is a user? It is a login ID. Then why can't we just put employee as a user ID? Is it right? Right. So people ask these questions, and there are answers to that. Why does Siebel have these three entities for one single thing? Basically, when you go in a company, you meet a person. That person is set up as three people in Siebel, three entities in Siebel. Is it right?
What is position?
One is position, one is person, one is user. So if I go into a company and they want to set me up, they'll set up first a user, then an employee, then a position. Basically, three things they will set up, right? So there is a fundamental inspiration behind why do we have three entities in Siebel. So these are the reasons which I would need from you guys, because you guys are not beginners anymore, right? So the reason that I gave is position. Specific reason why position is because the data visibility is driven by position. Okay, right? That is a fundamental thing. That is the reason Siebel have a concept called position. Data visibility is very important for a CRM application. Siebel is a CRM application, so they have to provide data visibility. To provide data visibility, they have to have positions. Okay, and they have to maintain a segregation between an employee and a position. Otherwise, they could have used employee. Hotmail does not need to do that, so that's why they have only user ID. Simple. They don't have a position. They don't have a person, employee. They just have one thing called as user ID. Whereas in Siebel, we have three things. When a person gets a new account in Siebel, he will be having three things in Siebel, right? So going back, why do we have this person? Position drives data visibility. Why do we have this employee? Why do we have this user? User is for certain functions. I will tell you briefly, but that's not the goal of this chapter. We'll do that again. So keep that question in mind. We'll come back and record another session with this question only. User is for when the customer applications are available. They will not be given an employee status. We don't even care sometimes what their last name, first name are. So if Amazon.com wants to deploy Siebel, they will want to have the functionality of user ID, and all the data visibility will be assigned to the users, right? So that is the reason we have users entity. Then we have employee entity, because some of the things get assigned to employees directly, and they cannot be reassigned to anybody else if that guy leaves. So they are dependent upon employee. For example, SRs and activities. There are certain things like accounts and contacts which have to be reassigned to somebody, right? If that guy leaves, if the person has certain activities, if one person leaves, second person comes in, then second person has to be assigned to those master records, accounts and contacts. That's why we have this position entity. The subtle points of all this we'll discuss in the next chapter. Let's move on to the multi-org. So organization, why does organization exist? Because organization provides visibility. If there was no visibility requirements around organization, Siebel would have had no organizations whatsoever. And that's what Siebel was pretty much doing before Siebel 7. They thought that in our CRM application that we are rolling out, we'll keep it basic. We will not provide any organization-based visibility, or even if we provide, we'll provide fundamental functionality. And that functionality was single org functionality. Now in Siebel 7 we have multi-org. Let's understand how organization provides visibility and how Siebel was compromising it with single org, and how Siebel is providing more visibility, flexibility to various companies, and how a CRM application would not function properly if there is no organization functionality.
Yeah, but I want to
Okay? Organization visibility means that that the visibility at the organization level. But let's try to understand what it means. We have a lot of data, right? And this data, we know that via positions gets filtered into my accounts, all accounts, and my team's accounts use. If positions were not there, this functionality will not behave properly. And actually between me and you, you know that that's not the position, actually user ID or different user IDs we need, but still we call it position based, and we'll keep it out, but we'll for simplicity and for interview purposes, we'll just remember one thing, that if positions are not there, then these all accounts, and my team's accounts will not function. Is it right? Because the data gets assigned to them, right? If my accounts is not required, if my team's accounts is not required in an application like in a CRM application, then there is no reason to have position. Just because my accounts is a fundamental requirement of a CRM application, we have this concept called as position, right? Then we would not need to have any concept called as position. Similarly, in companies, they want, so basically position helps them in filtering the data. You will see your data, she will see her data. If there is no requirement like that, no concept of position is required. Okay. So, where was I? I would say, I hope the concept of position is sinking into you. You understand position is nothing to do with us. It is only required for data visibility, right? Data filtering. Similarly, some of the companies, let me say, some of the companies have requirements like this, like Dell USA and Dell Canada. They're working. Dell USA people should not see Dell Canada's records. Why? Because if you log in and there are let's say you get 50 emails and you have you see 2,000 emails every day. You see your inbox. In your inbox, you see my emails, all the friends' emails, everybody's emails. Then you see your emails also. How much will you like it? Well, very first you might like it because you can see everybody's inbox. But next day you start hating that because you will not be able to locate your own emails. So there is a fundamental requirement in a CRM application that you should be able to see your stuff. Similarly, when a person goes in the all accounts, he may be interested in seeing only the relevant records which are pertaining to his organization, his company. He is interested in seeing all the accounts, but it's still he wants to see all the accounts of his division, of his city center, the center at the city level, right? You see, so companies have this hierarchy, right? Like this is one big company, Dell Inc. worldwide. Then we have Dell US, Dell India, Dell Pakistan, Dell Canada, Dell Egypt, Dell Middle East, Dell Europe, Dell Germany, right? Dell Germany guys, they log in the morning. They don't know any English. They don't know anything, right? They log in. They see hundreds of records. Out of them, they have to find out which one is my company, which I'm supposed to work with, right? So in my accounts, when they will obviously be able to see only accounts related to them. So they will see only the accounts which are of Germany as well as of them, right? But when they go to all accounts, they will see Dell USA accounts. They will see Dell India accounts also, in which by mistake, in which the script might be Hindi. They might see Dell Pakistan accounts also. But just try to change. This can be recorded also. Okay. So Dell India. So he will see Dell Pakistan. He will see some guy, some things written in Urdu. What the hell does he have to do with something which is going on in the other part of the world? He wants to sell his products which are in Germany and to the accounts which are relevant to Dell Germany. Is it right? Even in all accounts,
He does not want to see actually whole of Dell's account. He's very clear.
Think about some place where the
If there is a new practice of Dell, sales office in Dell, Finland, then they would like to see the Finnish accounts, the new accounts that they want to see. The accounts that everybody's supposed to work with. So supervisor comes in, or the VP of the country comes in, sees all the records, starts assigning to various people. Then they see that in my accounts. And when they go to all accounts, they see all of the accounts of that company in Finland, of Dell in Finland. We are getting very clear picture that sometimes visibility requirements can be around organization also. Right? Is it right? This visibility requirement, for this visibility requirement precisely, Siebel has a concept called an organization. Whenever Siebel starts working, whenever Siebel is implemented, we first have to create an organization and assign the data to the organization. If you're planning to function in USA only, you still have to create one organization and assign everything to that organization. If you're planning to function in 25 countries in the world, and your requirement is very important, when they go to our accounts view, they should see only the ones which are related to your organization. Yeah. If you want to maintain that segregation, then you will create 25 different organizations in this case, and respective people will also be having their own organization as their master organization, and when they will see the records, they will see the accounts related to their organization. Making sense? Okay. Making sense? So we see that there is a lot of requirement on organization. So Siebel has this fundamental entity called the organization. Quite frankly, if you see, a CRM application cannot work without the concept of organization. So if Hotmail has to evolve as a CRM application, it better does something wrong, because they have only one level of visibility, user ID, nothing else. Finish. They don't have position-based visibility. They don't have any other kind of visibility. They don't have organization-based visibility also. Is it right? Is it right? I have understood Muru's question as this. If a company has many divisional centers in various countries, like in, let's say, one country they have one division, like Dell Germany, Dell Argentina, then does it mean that in Siebel we will have multiple organizations? It does not depend upon whether they call it division, they call it center, they call it factory, they call it this. If they want to have a visibility at that level, we'll set it up as organization. They call it group, they call it anything.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Typically, they will never call it organization. I can tell you that much. Organization is a word which exists in the Siebel world. They never call their own organization or company as this organization. They'll usually call themselves as company, or they'll call it Dell branch. Actually, I should say divisional branches or branches in the various companies. They'll call it as branch in that country. You should not get swayed by those words that they use. That's what you are. You got to think what it means in your district. If they see there are divisional branches in Germany, so let me revise my question. If a company has many branches in various countries, then would they have, that means that company will have multiple organizations? Why?
Same in Nashville, they have manufacturing plant and service, okay? In one plant, they don't have service, but still the service belongs to the division of Dell.
No. Can you try to answer that question? If a company has many branches in various countries, then would they have multiple organizations?
If they need visibility for them, then they should have, according to you.
How good is this answer? What do you think? I like that too, according to me. Because one of the things that yesterday was, according to what I learned so far here.
Yeah, you just said that.
Murus, you can come on.
I don't really get the point, like, visibility. What does that mean, visibility? Like in the Siebel or?
Yeah. But जैसे text की ज़रूरत है कि नहीं है, that's visibility. What is Muru? What is meant by visibility? That. See, we are having a line of questioning which is that, when he looks at his reservations, or maybe his hotel's reservations.
But then there is a center representative at the Nashville or the Tennessee level. He doesn't want to see all the reservations. He wants to see only the reservations of this area. Then there's a national reservation person. He wants to see only the US reservations. He can see how many reservations are there. And then he doesn't really want to see how many reservations are being made in the choice hotels in India or in Africa or in Europe, right? He doesn't want to be overwhelmed. We are very clear about this visibility requirement that if a person logs in, just look at the frustration of the person. There is a person who's working in Choice Hotels Germany. He looks at all the reservations, and there are, let's say, 2,000 reservations of Germany. And then he sees 2 million because the fact that Choice Hotels has reserved some people in Choice Hotels India, Choice Hotels Pakistan, Choice Hotels USA, Choice Hotels Canada, so on and so forth. By the way, Choice is the name of a hotel, is a group of hotels. Okay, so you see how frustrating will it be for him to see that he wants to locate his 2,000 reservations and he has to locate it in 2 million records. Just look at this. Look at the frustration level. He comes here, he clicks on this, and he sees all accounts, and he comes here and he looks at all these accounts and he keeps on looking. There is this is the one which is in my state. Just look at the frustration, why this all accounts exist, so that he can see the things related to his level, second level, like his regional level or country level, things like that. So organization concept is basically allowing the visibility at a higher level than the person and the team. Okay, now, so coming back, in his case, Choice Hotels case, we don't care whether they call them centers, whether they call them divisions. We will not set them up as divisions, because in CBIL there is no division-based visibility. In CBIL, the visibility at the organization level. So if they want the visibility at the level of what they call as divisions, we will not set them up as divisions. We will set them up as separate organizations. So visibility is what will drive. So I go back to Muruk's. His answer was quite to the point. It was pretty precise. That's what visibility will decide. So for example, in my question, if a company has many branches in various countries, then would they have multiple organizations set up? I don't know still. I want to find out whether visibility requirements will be there or not. Whether this particular organization people can see only their records. If there are such requirements that they can see only their records, and Dell Canada can see only their records, then we will think about creating separate organizations. I don't care how they pay, how they live, how they die. I don't really care about whether they live in buildings, whether the building is big or small. That's what I'm trying to get to. It's all important how they do their business. But visibility requirements are not effective, then I will not set them up as separate organizations. My entity in CBIL, called as organization in CBIL, is reserved for only those records which are going to further define the filters. Right? So I will set Dell Canada and Dell USA separately if and only if they need a filter on that basis.
But then,
basically, like every hotel structure is in a way that they have a parent office which is called like central reservation systems. Under central reservation system, every single hotel company has a brand category or brand line, product line, which is called. Let's say the example is Choice Hotels. Choice Hotels has different product lines: Quality Inn and Suites, then Clarion. Then they have Comfort Inn and Suites. So when central reservation system basically is controlling and having a view of all the reservations. Every single product line is making for the customers, and then they have set filters on that one. If somebody wants to see only the hotels in the national area, let's say, they can use two options. They can click on hotels in national area, that will give them all the product lines of the hotels, all the brand names in the national area. Or they can use a filter by clicking on one brand, let's say Quality or Clarion. That will give them the list of the Clarion hotels only in national area. So I would say like um, they can use the Choice Hotels, which is a parent company, as an organization and use the other brand names as a product category in SEO. Or the other option is they can use parent company as a separate organization who will have all the views, view of complete data from every single product line, or product category of brands. Or they can use every single brand as a separate organization.
See, Shazad in nutshell is saying that the reporting or the whole visibility of the reservations is dependent upon, it is at multiple levels. One is at the country level, other one is at the regional level, then it is at the hotel level. I definitely see that a person would like to know, if he works in a particular hotel, he wants to know how many reservations do we have for this hotel only, right? So he might say just all the reservations in my hotel, right? So I definitely see the requirement there. Okay. Similarly, there could be regional level reservations also. So if there is a VP of, let's say, Nashville area or Tennessee area, you can see how many total reservations are there. At the same time, while reserving also, it makes a lot of sense that one should be able to browse the hotels in a particular area and see which one to reserve for a particular guest, things like that. Definitely, when you want to see somebody shows up at your hotel door, you want to give them a room, you want to check the rooms available in your hotel. So definitely, while reserving, there is a availability. Definitely, there is a requirement that things should be accessible only at the hotel level. See, so we are vacillating whether we should set up. So we are thinking whether we should set up all these hotels as separate organization because there is a visibility around that, right? Right? Like we should be able to like anybody, any employee should be able to see if he's working up at a hotel how many rooms are available right now, how many rooms are not available, right? Things like that. So it's basically browsing through the products and seeing what all products are available, what all products are not available. Their own assets, pretty much. I can see that too. I can see certain things, but I'm thinking, see, a room is basically a product, and that's what we sell, right? And it gets converted into an asset when the particular room gets allocated. But let's say a person wants a non-smoking room, then out of all the rooms, one will get picked up and get allocated to him. Is right? Right. So I definitely see that hotel will be like the kind of the parent product thing. We can provide filters at that level also. If you want to do the reservation system, you can just pull, this is the parent product, this is the quality in I am in, or this is the region I am in, and it will give you all the list of all the products over there, all the rooms available in those area, in that area. So I'm just thinking whether we should set it up as separate organizations, or we can use some product catalog functionality to provide something. See, I personally see that as far as reserving this thing is concerned, probably product catalog thing will work better. Product catalog is like a parent category of products, but as far as reporting is concerned, my reservations, things like that, visibility will work better there, right? So we were thinking whether the hotel, the Quality Inn and the Quality Inn Nashville or the Nashville, these things should be set up as separate organizations, or they should be set up as product categories. So we're vacillating between these two ideas. Coming back, I think if in your CRM system you're providing the functionality of visibility, of reservations and filters around that, you will need the organizations to be set up at this each and every hotel level, each and every branch level, each and every, okay. And if you want to have the functionality related to reservations only, then you would probably just need to set them up as products and catalogs. If you want to have both, probably you need to set both of them. You need to set up each and every hotel has a product catalog and as an organization. But quite frankly, I am at a loss to really understand how this complex structure should be set up in civil. You see your point?
Does the civil has a networking?
Networking is all right. So I like that. Everybody's coming out with the fact that even I like that you basically you send up anything in the retail, any retail business basically will have that concept that they'll have branches, and there will be a requirement of visibility at the branch level, at the regional level, at the state level, at the country level. Okay, perfect. So my gut feeling, just going by my discussion that I've discussed so far, whatever I said so far, I would say that you'll have to create organizations at the branch level in this case, so that the visibility can be imparted at the branch level. So we will have multiple levels of organizations. Country, one organization will be BOA USA, then BOA all the states, 50 states, so 51 organizations are there already. In out of 51, just go by not facts, just conceptually everybody's able to understand, right? I don't know, I don't want to remember how many states are in USA, too much work. And I don't know how many states are there in India for that matter. I don't care. For this discussion, please don't think in terms of facts. I don't want to remember how many states are there in Canada and in America. 50 states is enough, right? 51 states. So 51 organizations I see now. Then in every organization, let's say they will divide it into regions. They must be working like that. If they're not, then probably just at the branch level directly from the state. If they're dividing into regions, then further those many organizations. So as you can, I'm adding up all the organizations. So visibilities will exist at all the levels, for country level, for various region level, for various states level, then at the branch level. So managers, their parent organization will be the one which is for that branch. And for the Bank of America VP Tennessee, or the director of Tennessee sales, it will be at his organization will be Tennessee, Bank of America Tennessee. And then there might be a guy, BOA CEO, his organization will be, or VP sales will be, his organization will be BOA America. So all these organizations will exist. So that is I was coming to that. The main thing is you guys understand that visibility at various levels, that's different thing. First is visibility exists and it is sinking in now. So it makes me think, why not provide them these 851 organizations. Okay, we can do that. Okay, but we'll think about it. Let me just tell you, there's a cost of maintenance of all these things. So when you send them the bill, they might say, okay, I don't want the visibility at the regional level. We are doing reporting out of some other system. The regional managers, they are used to going to that system. We'll pull it out and then we'll show it to them. I don't want any visibility at that level. And CEOs, they may not be using CEOs. Quite frank, it's pretty much set in stone. I've never seen a CEO using CEOs because CEOs is a transactional system. It is not an analytical engine. Okay? With the reference to this discussion, there are 2-3 types of application. One is transactional system, where sales rep or the leaf level people sit and enter stuff. Then this whole chunk of data from worldwide goes into some processing engines and it gets aggregated, segregated, and things like that, and reports get produced, which go in front of the IBM chairman and CEO of Bank of America. They access those systems. They don't access a transaction system like CEO, where a lot of data is being entered and things like that. So there are 2 types of systems in the reference of a discussion. Transactional and reporting, where the reporting occurs, or the analytical processing engines. Okay, there is a particular term also. You can go to Google and find it out. But conceptually, there are, I think, OLTP on transaction processing, and then there is analytical processing. Anyway, so these are 2 different types of systems. Then there are other systems too, like master databases, things like that. But with reference of our discussion, there are 2. So CEO will never be going to CEOL, right? So they might say, you know what, we do just want the visibility at the branch level. Region level people are also not accessing CEOL. They want some aggregated reports. CEOL doesn't have the capability to provide that reports. CEOL's data should go, and it should go with the branch that it is. For a particular account, we just want to know which branch it is in, and in some other system, from the branch we'll figure out which state or which region it is in, and we'll provide the report for that guy. So don't worry, just provide the visibility at the branch level. Making sense? So you might not see, you might again set it up in the proper way, but there may not be anybody who's assigned to that organization. Anyway, main idea is they may not be using this requirement. That's the main idea I'm trying to throw here. Okay, so you as a BA will be able to analyze, what visibility do they want. All the visibility exists in the company at hundreds of levels, but they want only at one level. So you will say, okay, I will do all the things at this level only, and I'll set up my organizations at this level, and things will be, visible at this level. Making sense? So we now understand the concept of organizational visibility. What is multi-org? That's what we'll discuss now. All right. So our requirements are mainly just governed by the visibility, and you will be talking to people and seeing at what level do they want the visibility, and you will create your organizations at that level. And you should be knowing various instruments available in Siebel to provide visibility. One is position, one is organization, one is person. Person we have not talked much. Position, organization we are talking right now. What is multi-org? See, in Siebel, back in 6, you could assign an account only to one organization. In Siebel 7, you can assign an account to multiple organizations. Let me show you. Okay. See, I can pick one of these positions, and I pick this one, but I cannot have multiple positions here, organizations. You see, this is Siebel 6. We are in accounts, all accounts view, as you can see, and I can pick only one organization out of it. So that means that an account can be associated with one organization only. I'm clicking on this MVG, and as you can see, an MVG is opening. Let's see when it will open. See, this is an MVG applied, and this particular account, we are in accounts, my accounts view. This is the my accounts view, and we can see that this particular account is associated with all these organizations. If I click on a new, then I will see the pick list from where I can pick one more organization, put it here. One account can be associated with multiple organizations. That is the basic idea of multi-org. But discussion doesn't finish here. We have to talk and understand the implications to the visibility, to understand what is the effect of multi-org and what does it really mean. That's the only complete meaning of multi-org. Ability to assign to multiple organizations is the definition from purist standpoint. If you want to memorize it, just try to remember. Ability to assign a particular entity to multiple organizations is what multi-org means. But how does it affect? Especially the organizational visibility, which is a very important concept in our mind now, right? So that's what we will discuss now. All right. So this is the definition. Ability to assign an entity's record, a particular record of an entity to multiple organization is multi-org. In this case, we will say account is a multi-org because each and every account record can be assigned to multiple organizations. This definition is out of place as far as words are concerned. Just understand what it means. That's rather more important. Ability to assign a record for a particular entity to multiple organizations is what is called as multi-org. So we'll say that account is multi-org in Siebel because accounts can be assigned to multiple organizations. Okay, in Siebel 7, not in Siebel 6, as we saw. Okay, this is important. Let's say Dell Canada and Dell USA. This is 2007. Dell Canada and Dell USA, they want them not to be able to see each other's records. They want them to function as separate records. In your case, let's say quality in and comfort in, they are separate, and tomorrow they merge. You would want, let's come back to Dell. It's easy to understand them. Dell Canada and Dell USA. Then we'll scale the discussion here. So Dell Canada and Dell USA. Let's say tomorrow they merge. Then you will create a new organization, Dell North America or something like that. So your intention will be all the accounts. Now that you want that all these guys who are working for Dell Canada, they should be able to see Dell USA accounts also, and Dell USA people should be able to see Dell Canada's accounts also. It is not only about merging of these organizations, it's also about they coming to you and saying that we want the visibility, cross visibility. So when they will say cross visibility, that's when you will start thinking how to do it easily and in a better way. Is it right? What you want to do is basically you want to Now either merge these organizations so that they both can see each other. I don't know how it can be done, but let's say you create a parent organization, Dell North America, and reassign, go to each and every account, reassign to Dell North America. Then the person who I am, the sales rep, I will be able to see that account still because of the fact that Dell Canada, Dell North America is a part of, is a parent organization, so I will be able to see that record, right? And Dell Canada person will also be able to see that record. This is kind of one solution. Other solution is assign each and every Dell America record, so to Dell Canada as well. So it will be assigned to two organizations, and assign each and every record which is assigned to Dell Canada, assign it to Dell America as well, right? So basically assign a particular record to both the organizations, right? So in this case, even unmerging is very easy. If tomorrow they again decide we want Dell Canada and Canadian people not to see, or they might say we want two types of reports, one at Dell North America level and one at Dell country level, the way it was before, right? So I'm saying that things, sometimes the accounts or the various records, they need to be assigned to multiple organizations. If this ability is not there in your system, you cannot provide visibility, you cannot provide flexibility in visibility. If the visibility is set at Dell Canada or at the country level, you cannot make the flexibility, you cannot provide the visibility next day at some other level. And again, you will have to provide it at a particular level, because you can assign it to Dell North America or to Dell Canada if that flexibility is not there. But if multi-org is there, let's say in Dell North America there are Dell Mexico, Dell Canada, Dell USA, and you want Dell USA and US and Canada have merged, right? How will you do now? I guess we are really shifting towards where we can say that whosoever has merged, I should be able to assign their records to each other too. That is a better solution and a peaceful solution, right? Is right? So Siebel 6 did not have this capability. So in Siebel 6, nobody ever provided functionality around organizations. They say, if I today put Siebel, assign Dell America accounts to Dell America and create Dell India, then tomorrow if Dell America and Dell India want to work together, how will they work? There is no way they can work. You see? So they were very important thing is, we all have to come back to very important thing also, one very important point. Always remember, companies spend a lot of money in developing these business systems. So if they get screwed, the company's money goes down the drain. At some point we might think, Siebel here reinstall kar lo, right? But they have invested a lot of money, a lot of data is there. If they have to redo everything, they won't like it. They have spent $20 million, first $2 million in buying the licenses, and then about $18 million over a period of 5 years to develop this huge application and functionality. Whether it could be developed from scratch in home or it could be developed from scratch in somebody's factory, that's immaterial now. They want to keep using this. They want to build on top of this rather than go back to the basics. You see my point? So you have to understand one point. Organization visibility, if you screw it up once, it remains good. It's very difficult to correct the organization visibility. You will see a number of things get associated with various organizations, and if once you screw it, the data becomes invisible. So in Siebel, if you create an organization once, just think, all the data is related to an organization, some person like you goes and one day deletes it. Great idea, right? Whole application goes down, whatever they have spent so far is of no use now. They have to do everything from scratch. So, coming back. That's why Siebel doesn't allow you to delete organizations. Even by mistake, you cannot delete it. In fact, in Siebel 6, they did not even allow you to delete positions. Because positions, data is associated with positions. If you delete position, data becomes orphan. That data will never be seen by anybody now.
So, but in civil
Even by
service,
the administrator also.
yeah.
But administrator is the one who has created the position. How come
Well,
he doesn't?
it's not about the power, it's about like the data visibility. The way visibility works is it has to be assigned to a position for it to be seen by somebody. If it is not assigned to a position, for example, Hotmail, you know, each and every mail has to be assigned to a user ID. Otherwise, it will not appear in anybody's inbox.
Yeah.
You know,
But it will be there in
but
administrator.
but so I like that idea. There could be an inbox where everything can be seen still. You see, well, that's a good idea. There is a data administration view where all the data in the database comes into picture, but still always remember there is some data which might still become orphan if we keep on doing stupid mistakes. So this mistake is Siebel is basically, in this case, Siebel is basically making sure that you don't do a mistake like that, right? Organization, they're not allowing you to delete, so you cannot make that mistake. So we come back to our discussion, but that's a good point. You know, that's a good point. And I would say that thought process is good. I mean, there is no need to close that thought process. You please keep thinking like that. This is an important thing. You know, when you go on a project, you will get answered. You'll come to know what things become. You know, they really pretty much work within some boundaries and assumptions. They don't try to make an ideal system. They try to make a good enough system. That's what their whole approach would be. They'll say, okay, leave it. I'm okay with this. Just, you know, if this can be deleted and it is a possible risk, let's go with it. And they try to see whether there is an orphan record or not. If there is an orphan record, they try to patch it up. That's rather better than coming up with a wholesome philosophy how to manage if somebody deletes a position. Making sense? If somebody does, first of all, everybody knows not to delete a position. If somebody does delete, they'll come out with a patchwork rather than just spending millions of dollars trying to find out how not to let anybody delete a position. You see my point? So they sometimes they take a proactive approach, sometimes they take a reactive approach depending upon the cost. And you will see that they'll be proactive in certain things, and in most of these things they will say, okay, we'll take a reactive approach. When it happens, we'll see. Okay, so we come back to our discussion, but that's a good thing. I'm not looking for some. I want you to know certain concepts, but at the same time, you know, you have to understand, you know, in the real world things will be happening in a different manner. You know, but again, coming back to our concept. Okay, so this ability to attach to multiple organizations gives you the flexibility to do this hanky-panky. Let's say by mistake, you know, let's go in Europe, where the countries are like, you know, here and there, and there are companies, you know, Dell Germany, Dell France, they are neighbors, and they're small countries, you know, like not like some very big countries. And if some company is working if Dell is doing with some business with some company in Germany, they might want to do that business with them in France as well. Right? That means that account has to be seen by French salesperson and German salesperson. What? Agree? I mean, why don't we give them this choice? If we are rolling out this thing, why do we have this thing that everything will be at the Europe level or at the country level? Or it will be just visible to either French or only to Dell Europe, right? Or we have to create hybrid. I'm talking about a big mess, but we're not going to get into that. What I'm talking about is we need to give the flexibility that if I am a Dell German rep and I will see that this particular account has some offices in Germany and we might want to do some work with them in Germany as well, we can get some business. I should be able to call the Dell Germany guy, hey, you know what, I'm assigning you an account, you go and do business with them. This cross thing is probably in US and Canada, we definitely see it as two different things, but in Germany and France, I know that they do business like this. Companies will have branches in all these countries. So if you have an account with certain company in some area or in some country, then pretty much you would want to do business with them in a different area as well. This multi-org functionality is a boon in that case, because on a choice basis, Dell Bulgaria person can assign something to Dell Belgium too. Right? He doesn't want to lose a visibility. He will assign to Dell Belgium and then he will lose a visibility. But if he can have multiple organization assignment of a particular account, he can continue to see his account and show it to and make it visible to the Dell Belgium person too. Right? That is the reason multi-org is a boon. And nobody has to change the organization structure in the organization database. Right? Same organization can continue to exist. Nothing has to be done.
just peaceful life.
But this
No risk to the organization. If by some chance administrator is working on the organization, screws up the organizations, if multi-org is not present, then he can screw it up, right? That's the wrong thing, right? And business-wise also it makes a lot of sense that this account has offices in this thing also. Let me assign it to Dell Bulgaria people also. He just goes and assign it to Dell Bulgaria organization. Business-wise also it's easy to teach to a rep. A rep could be a person who's drawing $5 an hour. You don't want a hanky-panky. You don't want to give them a hanky-panky thing. You want to give them a simple thing to work with. Multi-org in this case would be a good, right? This is the whole gist of multi-org. By talking about multi-org, you will hear all this. See, Siebel is slowly is making various entries at multiple organizations. Account, as you see in Siebel 7, is already multi-org. Contact is also multi-org. Opportunity is also multi-org. I encourage you to go in each and every entity and see whether it can be assigned to one organization in Siebel 7 or multiple. So they call it, they have multipleized it. They have multiple organized it. I don't know whatever you want to call it, but so its account is now multiple orged. Contact is multiple orged, and opportunity is multi-orged. Things like that. They say like that. So you will see which ones are. You need to go and find out in your this thing what all is multi-org. So this is an exercise that everybody needs to do. Because of this fact that Siebel 6 was a single org thing, people used to refrain away from setting, because this is the main thing. If once you set up the organizations, and visibility will be driven by that, if you want to change it to something else, or you want to change your organization structure in Siebel, not in the real world, how the organizations are, to define different visibility so that the visibility should be different, you will end up screwing the whole organization. So people keep away from, this is a very critical master data which you cannot touch, right? So people used to keep away from, touching this data. So people used to say, okay, we'll go with only Siebel 6 in one organization only. Although in Siebel 6 you could contain multiple organizational records. That is not multi-org. Multi-org means account can be assigned to multiple organizations. So multi-org functionality was not there. You could create multiple organizations, but people used to keep away from even creating that altogether. Let's say even if an account can be assigned to either main organization or the sub-organizations, I still don't want to use it, because if some account gets assigned to sub-organization and tomorrow I want to assign it to main organization, I won't be able to do that. I don't want to touch such a system. So this is one reason people used to use Siebel 6 only in a single org manner. So there is, by default, organization is nothing but super organization. This is one very important thing you should remember. Default organization is nothing but super organization. From our purpose, like this is a very bad name, but in Siebel, whenever something gets created, it gets assigned to, that is the highest level of organization in Siebel basically. So I will call it super organization. So in Siebel, everybody was using this super organization. They will not try to have their own organizations and all that. Then, but it also means Siebel 6 will not be deployed by a global company now. Isn't it right? A global company cannot deploy Siebel 6 because they would want the flexibility of assigning and reassigning between various organizations. Organizations as defined by the visibility requirements of theirs. Let's say they say Dell Germany and Dell France can see each other. So you, BA will say, okay, let's make these two separate organizations. Down the line, they definitely see doing cross business too. They will not want the visibilities to be set in stone. Just as organizations are not set in stone in those companies, they will say, we are a global organization. Tomorrow, we might merge Dell India and Dell Pakistan. Why not? Because we have a regional person who is heading both. Might, right? It is very much possible. They might say, we want Dell India guy to be promoted as Dell Southeast Asia. Whole Dell Sri Lanka, Nepal, Bhutan. Why do we need to have? But today they are not. So this flexibility is always going to be there. And again, they might say down the line, we want Dell Nepal to have a separate VP. Whatever. The organizations, they have this kind of flexible organization, or this kind of ever-changing organization, this kind of structure. Yeah, this kind of company which is changing every day. They want to have a Dell Nepal separate VP and Dell Bhutan separate VP, and then tomorrow they say, no, we want to have just Dell Southeast Asia, except Dell Pakistan as a separate, or we want this as a one, whatever requirements, or we want Dell Tajikistan, which is not in Southeast Asia, also to see the Dell India's records. Whatever. They could come up with different scenarios. They are right, to save cost, they might appoint one VP, right? Similarly in EMEA, in Middle East, some companies combine okay, Europe, Middle East, and Africa together. They do with all these countries business together. Like in my brother's company, he was a Middle East and Africa head.
Yeah.
In your too?
Middle East Asia.
Yeah, yeah. Middle East and Africa, combination of different regions, the whole of the continent and some part of the continent. Then Dell Southeast Asia, they had this, and then China and the rest of the Asia. You see your point? People want to have this flexibility in organization. Tomorrow the dynamics change and they see that it will add a lot of value if we assign single VP to Dell India and Dell China. With this changing organization, Siebel could not change in Siebel 6 days. Today Siebel can change. So after Siebel 7 rolled out multi-org, this thing, you guys must be thinking it's such a small thing, but it's a sea change in Siebel sales pitch. They say, we change with the organization. Whatever organization structure you are having, you don't need to buy another application. You can just keep working with us. And if you want to have a global deployment, we are equipped with that. We do have global visibility requirements, visibility at the region level, at the country level, and then the flexibility at those levels. See, so this is what helps them. Other thing that I want to tell you is, this is sales pitch. It allows Siebel to say that. So when you see in the Siebel's this thing, Siebel supports global deployment, you should know what kind of big changes in Siebel 7 has been, Siebel has. So to support this thing, multi-org these things. That is what is basically behind this thing. One more thing, just something comes to my mind. Usually in North Americas is one big region. EMEA is one big region. APAC is one big region. EMEA stands for Europe, Middle East, and Africa. Many companies do business with these regions together. But this is a business level discussion. It has very less to do with Siebel. We will provide them whatever they need. But I've seen that, like if you're talking to somebody and he starts talking multi-org and things like that, just get into the business which you guys understand so well. Just say in the EMEA region, we set it up in the EMEA region level. People will say, okay, he knows something. APAC is Asia Pacific. So all these countries, like China, not China, Malaysia, all this, whatever those countries are, including Australia, New Zealand, sometimes they all bring it up together. In Asia also, so India, Pakistan, everything comes into that. So these are three big chunks of business, this thing. Japan, I don't know where should it lie, but I think it should lie in APAC, right? So these are three big chunks where how the businesses are like kind of defining the regions, in terms of revenue. If you see Europe, Middle East, Africa, they basically are a very big region as far as revenues are concerned. Australia, Japan, and India, they make quite a big chunk of revenue for a particular company. Like Pepsi would like to organize their business at these three levels, and then it will obviously boil down to lower levels too, but they would like to have reports at this level too. Yeah. So I have seen many companies working like that, but it does not mean like any business has to work like that. I mean,
banks operates like this.
They also have this kind of EMEA and all these things. They have APAC and this thing. North America.
Was
they had a region called as Middle East Asia.
MESA.
MESA. Middle
East Asia.
Okay.
In that region, Dubai, Qatar, Bahrain, Abu Dhabi, India, Bangladesh.
All used to come together. Yes, and they had a common VP, right? Desi guy. There is one entity called as division in Siebel, and no visibility can be defined at that level. Let's be very clear. See, in Siebel, visibility can be defined at organization level or at position level. No visibility can be defined at division level. Why this dummy entity called as division? Okay, division drives certain other things. We don't need to get into that, but not visibility. So if some company says we have 25 divisions, everybody needs to see different data, you will not set it up as division in Siebel. You will set it up as organization. If they say we have 25 divisions, but each division is set up as a separate organization within the business structure, and but we don't want any visibility there. So you will set it up as one organization. Divisions we do not know yet, but definitely organization will be one. Division we do not know because we do not discuss the importance of division, right? Thing is clear, division does not drive visibility. So even if they call it division, even if they call it center, whether they call it group, if they want the visibility at that level, we have to think in terms of providing organizations at that level. right? This is going back to our original discussion before we introduce the concept of multi-org in the same chapter. But again, multi-org is very clear. Multi-org is really the ability to see a particular record by multiple organizations. So you should be able to assign it to multiple organizations. So when the people log in for a particular organization, for those organizations, they all see those. It's not only visible to one org, it is visible to multiple organizations. Okay? You're gonna do that exercise too, right? It is logged here in the chapter that you can, account is multi-org, this thing is multi-org, that thing is multi-org. Remember I said that? So you need to check it out, okay? That completes this first time I'm completing crisp multi-org chapter.